Hi friends, it is time for us to read a story together. Will you sing with me our story time song? Oh, I want to read with somebody. I want to read a book with somebody. With somebody who loves me. Okay, here's our story for today. Before we start reading, who can tell me what this part is called? It goes all the way around the outside of the book. Oh, that's the cover. And on the back, we have the back cover. Down the side, what's this called? Spine. And then on the front is the front cover. The front cover has all the important information. What is one thing that's written on the front cover? The title. The title is on the front cover. What does the title tell us? The title is the name of the story. The title is the name. The title is the name. Every book has a name. The title is the name. The title of this story is What is a Scientist? The author of this story is Barbara Len. What does that mean? What does the author do? The author writes the words. Can you say author? Writes the words. Good job, friends. The author writes the words, and who draws the pictures? The illustrator. Can you say illustrator? Draws the pictures. Great job, friends. The illustrator of this book is actually a photographer. That means she took the photographs, and that is Carol Krause. What is a scientist? I'm going to open up my cover. I'm going to find the pages, and we're going to read the words. A scientist is a person who asks questions and tries different ways to answer them. Ooh, friends, a question is when you want to know more information. So a scientist is someone who asks questions. You all ask a lot of questions. Maybe you are scientists. Let's keep reading and find out. This is Hannah. Hannah wonders about fruits and vegetables. Are there this many peas in every pod? Asks Hannah. Hannah wants to know about how many peas are in the pea pod, so she asked a question. Scientists ask questions. Let's find out more about what scientists do. Let's keep reading. A scientist learns from her senses. We know all about the senses. We learned about the 5 senses in Unit 6 when we were studying healthy bodies and healthy minds. The 5 senses are seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting. A scientist learns from her 5 senses. Cami and Tiara play with a mixture of water and cornstarch. They try to decide if it is liquid or solid. When I squeeze it, it feels like a solid, but it drips like a liquid, observes Tiara. So friends, what senses are they using in this picture? They are definitely using their sense of touch. They are touching this goo that they made with their science experiment. They're also looking at it, aren't they? They're using their sense of sight. You can use your 5 senses to learn about things. A scientist notices details. Nate examines seeds inside vegetables. There are actually 2 kinds of seeds in the cucumber. The small ones are clear, discovers Nate. He's looking very carefully and he's noticing things. A scientist draws what she sees. Samantha shows how 2 liquids mix. The red drops beat it up inside the yellow liquid, observes Samantha. Ooh, she sees something and she's drawing a picture of it. We draw pictures all the time when we write in our journals. Another thing we can draw pictures of is our science experiments. So we do science experiments on Wednesdays in our learning lab. If you ever do those at home, you could draw a picture about what happened, and that's something that scientists do. A scientist writes about what happens. Ooh, so a scientist draws a picture about what happened and they write words. We do that in our journals. We draw pictures and we label, we write about it. That's something that scientists do too. Friends, it sounds like you do a lot of the same thing that scientists do. It sounds like maybe you are already scientists. Let's keep reading and learn more. Tim records his observation. The checker and pencil landed at the same time, but not the feather, writes Tim. He's using his pencil and paper to write down what he saw. Ooh, a scientist makes comparisons by measuring. We know those words too. Comparisons. When we compare, we talk about how things are the same and how they are different. When we measure, we know how to measure length with a ruler. We know how to measure temperature with a thermometer. And we know how to measure weight with a scale. These are all things that scientists do. Friends, I think you are already scientists. You do all of these things. Amelia and Corey are measuring weights with the balance scale. Amelia, this side of the balance is higher because it is lighter, demonstrates Corey. A scientist must count exactly. Oh, you are all such good counters. You all know how to count. Emily and Stuart count how many drops of water they can fit on a penny. We've put on 23 drops of water so far, says Emily. Ooh, Emily and Stuart just counted 23 drops. Let's count to 23 with them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There were 23 drops on this penny, and we just counted to 23 because those friends were counting to 23. Friends, let's keep reading the story and learn more about scientists. A scientist looks at objects carefully to decide how to sort. We know how to sort. We learned about sorting when we read the book Isabel's Treasure Tub, and you can sort by putting things that are the same together. We can sort by color. We can put all the blue things together. We can sort by shape, put all the circles together. There are lots of ways to sort. Zoe and her group organized the shoes and boots in different ways. You guys, I think this boot is longer, decides Zoe. A scientist designs experiments to test predictions. We do experiments in our learning lab. And we know how to make predictions or hypotheses. That's a guess about what will happen next. Jessie plants seeds at the top of one cup and at the bottom of another. I think the seeds that I planted at the top will grow better than the ones at the bottom, predicts Jessie. A scientist experiments by trial and error. Friends, that means that you just try and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. When we do our learning lab, sometimes nothing really happens. But that's okay. That's how you learn about how things work. You just can try again. Nick uses a foam meat tray to make a flying object. I added a blob of clay and some paper clips on the front, and now my meat tray flies farther, explains Nick. A scientist thinks logically. Oh, you are good thinkers. You think all the time. Shivani explains how she learned about the compass directions. When I ride home at the end of the day, the sun is going down over there, so that must be west, figures Shivani. A scientist keeps trying over and over. That sounds like our rule number 5. Rule number 5 is try my best. Scientists always try their best. Charlie and Stuart try to build a tower as tall as possible. Stuart, we finally got it more than 10 to stay on, shouts Charlie. Yay, they built a tall tower, didn't they? A scientist has fun. We love having fun. Jeff and Teresa experiment with water. Let's see if we can fill up the tube through these holes, suggests Jeff. Now, we learned a lot about what scientists do. Here's a recap. A scientist is a person who asks questions, learns from her senses, notices details, writes, draws, measures, counts, sorts, experiments, thinks, predicts, keeps trying, and has fun. That's what a scientist is. Friends, you do all of those things. So I think that you are all scientists. When we do our learning lab experiments, that's a science experiment, and that means that you are a scientist because you do all of these things. You do experiments, you test your hypotheses, You are all scientists. The end. If you liked my book, clap once. If you liked my book, clap twice. 3, 2, 1. That book was fun. All right, my little scientist friends, you did a great job reading that book. Thank you so much. We are all done. We will see you later. Bye-bye.